The Democratic Party will do anything to take down Trump and more. Let's talk about their latest efforts with retired NYPD Chief of Department John Schell, committee woman for the Women's National Republican Club, Monica Plock, and psychotherapist and author of Therapy Nation, Jonathan Alpert. Welcome, guys. So we've been talking about El Sayed. He is the new Democrat darling. He's very charismatic, and apparently he has a new alliance with Barack Hussein Obama. Listen to this.
I then watched the next year Barack Hussein Obama run for and win the presidency. I watched him serve with a level of class, a level of elegance that we could only pine for now. So I really enjoyed the conversation. I was grateful for his advice. It was very warm, very inviting. And I know that he knows the critical role that Michigan is going to play in holding Trump accountable, in winning back the Senate, and in building forward the future that we need.
So, Chief, what do you think about him communicating, Barack Obama calling him up? And notice how he says Hussein Obama. He wanted to be clear about that, the Hussein part.
Yeah, definitely caught that. This is desperation to win. He says he's not a socialist, a Democrat socialist. He is. I don't even know what the difference anymore between progressive and Democrat socialist are. So they're just trying to combine all their forces to win in November and also defeat get a Democratic president in 2 years. So this doesn't surprise me. But the problem is their identity is all over the place. What is a Democrat these days? Mm-hmm. How far left are they? I mean, they're going off the edge here. So not surprising whatsoever.
Jonathan, what's the allure? You're seeing young people in droves gravitating towards socialism, gravitating towards these type of almost influencers, in a sense.
Yeah, in many ways, socialism is seductive. The promise of having government take care of everything, free buses, free housing, government will take care of all your problems. And in my field, we have what's called locus of control. And that's to what extent do you feel like you have control over your destiny, and to what extent do you feel like others do and it's out of your control. And I think socialism illustrates this point beautifully in that the socialists, these young people, feel like the government owes them and they have no control over their destiny.
Right, it's kind of that participation trophy, kind of soft parenting mentality. Don't you think that's what it is? It's like, oh, well, I don't have this and you should give it to me. I shouldn't have to work for it or earn it.
Complete entitlement, and you see this among young people, and these are the ones who are voting for these socialists. Look, Lydia, hate sells, and it sells so beautifully on social media. Now he's got all of these El Sayed endorsements, whether it's Kamala Harris earlier this week to Obama now. It's just so interesting to watch the younger voters, at least in Michigan, under 45, Kent County, University of Michigan, Michigan State, all voting for him, not really understanding what the words communism and socialism really even means. Yes, it sounds like everything is free, free, free. But let's take a look at the university of professors who are preaching to these generations of voters. What is happening at the college level is the question that I have, that all of these young voters are just eating up this messaging.
Right, and what is happening at home. But you brought up a good point in the green room about Barack Obama calling him.
Yeah, but we also have to look at my profession. Therapists are great at creating this pathology in that they're creating this victimhood mentality. And they'll pathologize ordinary life experiences, and it's everyone else's fault but your own. So if someone comes in and they have a problem at work, it's the boss's fault, it's the colleague's fault, it's not your own fault. So this is being spilled out into onto the streets, and that's how
I think it starts at home.
Oh, it starts at home because the 9th place participation trophy we didn't have there growing up. Okay?
Right.
Show me somebody comes in 2nd place. Unfortunately, I'll show you a loser. This is the four work week people, the purple head people. I want anything for free. I want to stay in mommy's basement. It's the teacher's fault. It's not my fault. Why me, the victim? This is all a certain group of young college kids, because I think Saeed got most of his vote from the college kids.
But
he got most of his vote from the college kids.
They're not raising their kid like me with my daughter when she started crying because whatever, somebody got something, the ball, she didn't get it, she plays basketball. I said, I'll give you a real reason to cry. Stop crying. Stop crying. Now, Hassan Piker is a stereotypical Nepo baby. Do as I say, not as I do. He's a multi-millionaire. He comes from a very wealthy family. He calls himself an anchor baby, which is kind of ridiculous. But he's a virulent anti-Semitic. And El Sayed was asked about, why are you campaigning with this guy who said we deserved 9/11? And here's El Sayed's response to that. Listen to this.
You face scrutiny for campaigning with socialist streamer Hassan Piker, who has made a series of inflammatory comments, as you well know, including saying America deserved 9/11, describing Hamas as a lesser evil than Israel. Do you plan to continue to campaign with Hassan Piker in the general election campaign?
Look, I'm less concerned now with who I'm campaigning with, a lot more concerned about who I'm campaigning to. We got a lot of work to do to continue to build the coalition that's going to beat Mike Rogers.
Would you welcome him, though? On the campaign trail with
Like
you?
I said, I'm a lot more focused on who I'm campaigning to.
So good at not answering the question, isn't he?
Yeah.
But how does he not say, like, I don't agree with what he said, but I welcome his influence? He refused to even condemn him. We had a person last night that was a former Democrat, worked with Hassan Piker, and she said that he's not an anti-Semite. But if you are the company that you keep, no?
You're spreading hate, and you're spreading hate on purpose. Look at, like, I love to bring up Morris Katz and Fight PR, or the Fight agency that represented Mamdani and Plattner. It was all about promoting hate, going against establishment, and it seems to be resonating and working with younger voters.
So when you sit at home watching that piece right there, right? Just the arrogance, the average person sitting there saying, you won't answer the question. Just say you are with him or you're not. But he said coalition. Unfortunately, it's a coalition of hate. Under the premise, anything to win. Yeah. Nothing is off the table. Crazy statements doesn't affect us anymore.
You're a therapist. I want your perspective. As a therapist, talk to me about, like, that maneuver right there, the kind of arrogance, as you called it, the fact that he wouldn't even answer the question from a therapy. I know you didn't examine this guy.
But we can talk all we want about the candidate, but people have to be good consumers of information. If all you watch is one network, that's the only message you'll get. Like, you have to look at the person's history. You have to be a good consumer of the information that's being put out there and make a decision. If it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. And if all we have to do is look at Mamdani, free everything, and we all live in New York, have we gotten anything for free?
No. And speaking of Mamdani, this was frightening to me. He held a bus rider town hall recently, the other day, and he had a dedicated kiosk for the Democratic Socialists of America. This is not a fringe left. People need to understand New York City is the financial capital of the world, of this country, and it's been captured by a communist. This is not.
He's supposedly New York's mayor, and he's just dividing New York City. And there are so many people right now that oppose him for even showing up during the 25th anniversary of 9/11 coming up. This is going to be a big one. I mean, I hope he doesn't speak publicly, to be honest with you, during this particular event. It's splitting up New Yorkers, and it's just completely unfair and disgusting of him to be doing what he's doing.
This is not covert. This is overt. This is right in your face. I'll give him a little credit. At least he admits who he is and what he wants to do. He does. And you're a little gasped by that, but at least he says it. Look again, what Saeed did. He just danced around and he insults you sitting there having your morning coffee on Sunday, just lying to you.
Yeah, Mamdani admits it, and he was very clear in his campaign that he was going to do it, and yet the voters continue to vote for him.
But we saw the same thing play out in Maine with Plattner. Like, we knew who this guy was with the Nazi symbol tattooed on him, but people still supported him. They didn't denounce this. And I think we're seeing similar things here in New York with Mamdani. Like, we know what he's all about, yet a lot of people still support him. And it does make me question these voters, these people. As a therapist, I have to wonder, like, where's their head at?
Why do Jewish people, how could they vote for him? He was very open with how he felt towards Israel and the Jewish people. Before he was elected, over 30% of the people that voted for him are Jewish. So why would they vote for somebody that hates them? Does anybody know?
It's astonishing. It's, I wish I had a better explanation, but I think people are seduced by the promises that these candidates make, and they're not able to really decipher what could actually happen and what doesn't.
They learn their lesson down the line. It takes a little bit of time for them to really understand what the messaging behind
kind of like the white
Mamdani.
Ladies with the Africans coming aboard in Suda, right? The tens of thousands, and they're like hugging and kissing them, and the next thing they know, they're a victim of a crime, suicidal empathy.
Look, I don't think he's getting 25-30% from the Jewish community next time around. No way he's getting it. And this is going to turn. This hasn't been successful. It's all platitudes. It's all free stuff. It all feels good. There's no free buses. Corporate taxes weren't raised. Rent control, yeah, you might have won that, but other people are suffering from this. And the rent has gone up since you've been there. This is all it's all smokescreen.
Lydia, I think things really have to hit rock bottom in New York for people to really wake up.
How much more rock bottom? People are defecating on the streets. We're in Midtown Manhattan, a beautiful part. And every time I drive in, somebody's showing their junk at me. All right, John Shell. We're laughing, but it's true.
Well, it is New York City. I mean, yeah, we got to be a little different.
We got to be a little different. We got to be free and express ourselves.
Gives us the grit we have as New Yorkers.
I mean, I can't imagine paying millions of dollars to live somewhere and a guy's pooping on my front step. All right, that's why I live outside the city. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Seniors, this is a big story, guys. Seniors lost $8 billion to scams last year alone. Coming up, we'll hear from this mother, her terrifying story of an AI voice scam and the price she paid before realizing that it wasn't even real. Part one of our Newsmax investigation that you